Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, One Enlightened Diva, and I am Valerie. I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing well. Today, I would like to share a little snippet of my life with you all. And I call this snippet the narcissist in my life, the untold story. They say you could be sleeping with the enemy, but I never thought that this would be my story or part of my story. You would never imagine that the person you are involved with would be your biggest hater, but anything is possible. It was hard to believe that someone could tell you they love you in a moment, and out of that same mouth came words of hate. I remember speaking to someone and they said something like, "He sounds like a narcissist." Now, I am not ignorant. I've heard that word before, but I was not quite sure what it meant. I Googled the word, I watched videos, and I was stunned to see how many videos were about narcissism. I realized, yep, he was a narcissist. But at the time, I didn't know what narcissism was. And from my vantage point, it was a person that was emotionally unavailable. But to back up a bit, he reeled me in, and as our relationship grew, I could never understand how someone could tell you they love you and make you feel loved in one moment, and the next moment you're a bitch. And that was one of the nicer words that were being spewed. We dated for about a year. Before we met, I was alone, and honestly, I was not interested in dating at that time. But when we talked, we laughed as though we were familiar with each other. I gave him my number. We talked a few times on the phone. We went on a date, and he brought me flowers. I thought that was a sweet gesture. We went to the movies, and I remember we were in the theater, and he kept trying to touch my hand. It made me feel uncomfortable because I believe that might have been a second date. And then that was kind of a red flag, number one. But however, on down the line, we had nice moments. He was on his best behavior for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong. People have disagreements here and there, and we did. But this particular moment stands out in my mind. I don't remember what we were arguing about. We were in his apartment, and something I realized about him, he didn't know how to communicate. And what I mean is, he couldn't talk to you. He only wanted to yell and curse and blow up like a maniac. And I never really saw anyone get that mad in a disagreement. I wasn't scared in that moment. I was stunned in that moment. So I decided to leave, and he tried to stop me, but I wanted to go. And when he saw that I wanted to go, he got even madder. And I asked myself, how do you act like that? But in the middle of your madness, you say you're sorry. Shaking my head. But because I didn't accept his sorry, he got even crazier. I remember walking to my car to get my stuff. Well, I remember going to the car and I had my stuff. Excuse me. And I dropped a shoe. I didn't know that I had dropped a shoe. I just got in the car. I remember he opened my passenger door and he slammed it so hard, it was like the car shook. And he called me every word he could think of to hurt me. And as I was backing out to leave, he picked up that shoe that I didn't know I dropped. And he threw it in my car. Red flag number 2. And I just drove away. Now, most people would have never gone back. But obviously, I'm not most people. I cared for him. And even though I stopped communicating with him after that, he called and texted every day. And I would read the text and then I would delete them. And maybe 3 weeks went by and we communicated and we were back together. And things went well for a while. We had arguments here and there, but it would just be the same old thing. He would just say, I'm sorry. And I believe he said he was sorry 1,000,000 times. But what he couldn't do was sit and talk things out. I realized he wasn't equipped to do that. Fast forward. But I married him anyway. I would be lying if I said I didn't have any reservations about marrying him. I did, but I thought it would work itself out. I felt like if I loved him like nobody else ever did, that includes exes, family, etc., that would do the trick. But I was wrong. And when I tell you, he wore me down, you know, I feel like when I would get mad, he liked it. Red flag number 3. He would get this smirk on his face, like he was enjoying it. It had got to the point where I didn't want to sleep in the same bed with him. Or anything else, for that matter. He never understood, and I tried to explain to him, you can't treat me like trash and expect me to be intimate with you just because you say you're sorry. Then I was accused of having an affair, which I was not. Literally, it was like he was on a mission to destroy me. He was so good at putting a facade on. He put a facade on for my neighbors, for my family. Sometimes I would just laugh to myself because I could see what he was doing. He wanted everyone to love him or like him. It validated him somehow. But I realized he didn't love himself. And I had to realize, since that was the case, it was no way he truly loved me. And that was a hard pill to swallow. And at the end, before we separated, he showed me how right I was. He didn't love me. I felt like he knew I was leaving, and he did everything to bring me down. But it's funny because at the same time, he didn't want me to go. But his pride and ego wouldn't allow him to admit that. And that was okay with me because I knew I was leaving. And nothing he could have said or nothing he could have done that would have made me stay. Because I knew I was leaving. And I didn't know how I was going to make it. It was like, if you stay, you will be comfortable. And what I mean is, he had a good side. he was given to me. I feel somewhere within him was a good person, but his demons overtook him. But if I would have stayed, I would have not had any peace, because he was not peaceful. He only looked the part. But then on the other hand, if I would have left, which I did, everything would have been upside down. But at least I would have had my peace. So I chose my peace. I chose me. I literally didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. And on top of that, my car was in the shop. It couldn't be fixed. I ended up driving my dad's car. But I felt God was telling me to let go. And even though I was scared, I did. And when I tell you, it was the best move I ever made. It was like God said, I told you so. And so when I think about it, I hold no malice in my heart. I had to look at the bigger picture. That situation happened to help me to grow and to see myself from a different vantage point. I can't be mad about it or mad with him or myself. He doesn't know this, but he helped me to be a better person. Ain't that a plot twist? I had a lot of aha moments, especially after we divorced. I realized God does everything strategically, and we learn something in all situations. But everyone doesn't want to learn or grow. In order to grow, I learned that you must be willing to look deep within yourself and surrender your pain to God. But you have to open up and be vulnerable. You have to be truthful to yourself. And if you can't do that, how do you expect God to assist you in healing? That's like saying, I don't believe, I need healing. So it's like you're lying to yourself. This could have been much longer, but I wanted to share it because I feel and I felt someone needs to hear this. And whether you have gone through it or going through it or went through it and came out on the other side unscathed, this truly is about taking your power back and being the best version of yourself because of what you've gone through. But I hope this little snippet of my life encourages someone to take their power back. And if you like this video, give it a like, share it, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I upload a new video. And you can also donate to my channel or support my channel. The information is in the description box. Thank you all. Bye-bye.